Good evening and welcome to the We Are Rise show. I'm your host, Brett C. Collins. How's everybody doing out there? How was your weekend? Are you shopping? Are you shopping? You braving the weather and going out there shopping? It's been cold. I know in some places, the Northeast, it's been snowing. So how's everybody doing out there? Hope your weekend was good. I know we're 13 days, 10 days away from Christmas now. And it's just getting crazy out there. It's been a crazy weekend. I think it was up late last night just watching and listening to some of the news, and it's just been brutal. It really has been brutal. I mean, what happened at that Brown University, I have to tell you right now, it's disgraceful that they can't find the shooter, that they can't. We're going to cover that tonight. Let's welcome in my co-host, Marshall Smith. What's going on?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, the news never stops, especially this
Yeah.
weekend, man. I mean, it's just nonstop all weekend.
It's nonstop brutal. That's what it is.
Yeah,
And
well, murder everybody, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
I mean, Murder Inc. That's what we live in. I mean, the world we live in is it's unfolding before your eyes. You're seeing everything crack, and the more and more it cracks, the more and more people you know they get caught up in it. And it's pretty bad. It's sad in some way, especially near the holidays. But that's you should prepare for more types of terrorism, more types of chaos.
I think
You
there's a
know,
lot to it though, too.
I think it's all intertwined. We'll get to that. Welcome in
Absolutely.
pill.net. Hello on Rumble. And yes, we are on YouTube as well. So please subscribe and share. Leave us a comment. Let me know what you think. We're not monetized over there. Let me know how it is over there. What's up, True Terran over here on Rumble? What's going on? Let's see over here on pill.net. What's going on with USA? Yeah, so many distractions. Thank you for the 117 gold pills. Thea donating 300 gold pills. Joining you from the road this evening. Yes, Merry Christmas. I hope your family's doing well. And thank you for the cigars. You sent me a box of cigars, and they're great. I smoked one of them. They were fantastic. And wherever they come from, the hand-rolled ones, they were sweet. So I really appreciate that. What's up, Curious Cat? Patty B, how you doing? Trusty Turnip, what's going on? Curious Cat, thank you for the cookie so much. What's going on? Would USA? It's all fake. Well, it's fake in the sense of what we see. It's fake. It's I mean, what took place in Sydney seems pretty real. But even though it was a staged operation, you could see it in a lot of ways. We'll get to explaining that. Yeah, Brett rolling with the blunt. No, I know it does, but she sent me these robustos,
Take
bullies,
some of it
and they're
out
out
and
of
fill it
Texas,
in.
sun grown. These are pretty good. Yeah, I know. They were tasty. Thank you. What's up, Nah Dog? How you doing? Yes. So tonight's show, Chaos Coordinated, Guns, Grievance, and Global Ties. I think it's all tied together is the gun grab that's going on right now that, Brown University, it's like 90% liberal, 99% liberal. It's trans, gay, and all the other stuff. And you can hear all the crisis actors freaking out saying, that came from Parkland that are still in school, apparently, at that university, claiming, going on CNN, saying, yeah, this is the second shooting I had to deal with and stuff. I don't buy any of that. Strange attractors and more. Strange attractors, that's basically what I want to. It's overlapping and overarching discussion with what happened with the director and the actor, so to speak, where he lost his life at the hands of his son, supposedly. So we're going to cover some of that tonight. Like, share, and subscribe. Drop us a gold pill, comments, questions, and concerns. You can help us out on Rumble as well. Drop us a Rumble rant. And again, we're on YouTube. So just, leave us a comment. It's important. And please always subscribe over there. We're trying to build up that platform and stuff, and it's doing really well over there. I see a lot of commentary lately, and that's great. Yes, central casting. Yeah, I think there's a lot of it. Let's get into tonight what the big news, so to speak, that happened last night around 9:30, I guess, Eastern Standard Time, Pacific Standard Time. Rob Reiner's son, Nick Reiner, booked for murder, responsible for parents' death. Let me just say this. Hearing all the news and stuff that, you had certain actors like Billy Crystal supposedly visiting and seeing the body to identify. I guess he lives in that area in Brentwood. Remember where Brentwood was? That's where OJ used to live. Remember that? Think about that. Think about the OJ trial in Brentwood. Think about what happened to his ex-wife. Think about what happened to Ron Goldman, the waiter. And Ron Goldman's family just won a massive lawsuit against the state. I don't know if they're going to pay it out. We'll see. Rob Reiner's son, Nick Reiner, booked for the murder, responsible for the parents of LAPD. That's what they're saying. 32-year-old son, director, and his wife, Michelle, was taken into custody, is being held without bail before this case is presented to the LA district. So apparently he was found dead. Both throats were slit, which really, when you think about it, they were stabbed multiple times. We don't know the full extent to it. They're not releasing it. I don't know if we're going to hear how many times they're stabbed, but having your throats cut in some way, I'm not sure. And I'm going to throw this out there, and I want to see what your thoughts are about this. I'm not sure. That would suggest that something is a little bit more. I could see in some way how this is looking, based upon, I guess, the son's situation. I mean, obviously, he had drug problems. He had mental disorders. What happens if he was abused? Was there a cycle of abuse? Was he transitioning? We don't know. We don't know what happened to this kid and what set him off, but we'll get into that. According to the LA Sheriff's Department, records made public on Monday, Nick Rayner, 32, was arrested at 9:15 p.m. local time and booked into custody at 5:04 on Monday. Though the bail was initially set at $4 million, the LAPD later said the younger Reiner is being held with no bail ahead of this case being presented to LA District Attorney. The LAPD announcement directly connected Nick to his parents' death. As a result of initial investigation, it was determined that the Reiners were the victims of a homicide. Okay, the iconic filmmaker, 78, and his wife Michelle were found dead in their LA home in Chadbourne Avenue. The couple suffered lacerations consistent with the knife. The spokesman person of the family said Sunday it was with profound sorrow we announced the tragic loss of both them. Nick Reiner earlier was reported as a suspect. He battled drug addiction and dozens of stints in rehab. Co-wrote the film loosely based on his life being Charlie. The Los Angeles Fire Department was first called to the Reiners at 3:40 p.m. Interesting. By an unidentified person. LAPD robbery homicide detectives were quickly on the scene investigating. Reiner's friends Billy Crystal and Larry David were also spotted nearby among many who were pouring out tributes amid stunned reactions. Okay. So they found him. What was being reported was both throats were slit. They were stabbed multiple times. Yeah, it could be. It sounds like a satanic ritual. It sounds like a professional hit. It sounds like whoever did this had a lot of anger. They wanted to send a message, whatever that message is. Now, I'm not implying allegedly the son has been arrested for this. He's the suspect. That's who, and they're going to charge him. Okay. So obviously, if we're going to talk about him, what was his frustration? What was his angst? What set him off? I got something right here. Marshall, your thoughts?
Well, Hollywood is full of these people. We all know about it. And they put their kids, a lot of these kids are put through hell.
Mhm.
There's a long list that goes on and on what they do to these kids. But half of them are transitioned because of their parents. And what drove this kid to do drugs and get into all this stuff? Well, obviously, he didn't just do drugs for no reason. He's doing drugs for a reason. And also, when you use a knife instead of a gun, that is a personal attack. That makes it personal. So this was definitely something that this
Well, it
guy.
could have been spur of the moment. I mean, you got to think about it. We don't know if this was planned, if this was accidental. This was the fit of rage. So you're implying that he had premeditated to slit his parents' throats, come behind and kill them, and then stab them multiple times. What I'm saying is that type of scenario, we don't know. And so I'm not going to make that point. I mean, obviously, if he had mental disorders, drug problems, he probably was caught up in the law. He probably was not able to possess a firearm in California. But I don't know the background of that. So again, was there a knife just laying around? Did he bring his own knife? What type of weapon was used in order for him to carve up his family like seafood? I mean,
my main point is that this was personal because he could have killed him any other way.
What happens if it wasn't him and he's framed?
Well,
I mean, is it possible that he was framed?
Hollywood,
like I'm just saying,
they do this shit out there, Brett. We all know that.
Right. I mean,
so we don't know. Just like Charlie Kirk, we just don't know, man.
Right. I mean, think about Charles Manson and what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, and think of his cult and his group. I'm not implying. Look, the kid was arrested. I mean, 32-year-old man. I mean, he was arrested for this. Apparently, he's the suspect. They might have evidence. He's got blood on him. I don't know. I'm just saying. I mean, I mean, this guy's got so many different mental issues and mental disorders and drug. It would be easy as a frame job to set him up. You know, he could have witnessed them being murdered.
This
You
could have
know,
been very much a ritual. Absolutely.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I
Hollywood
think we
is
just
all
don't
about
know.
that shit.
Yeah. So Rob Reiner, and this comes from the Inquirer. Rob Reiner got into a loud argument with the son Nick at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party before the murder. Okay. So this is interesting. Rob Reiner allegedly got into a heated exchange with his 32-year-old son Nick, who has now been charged with the parents' murder, according to TMC. Sources, the sources 3 attended Conan O'Brien Christmas party on Saturday, December 13th, and Rob and Nick got into a very loud argument where their outlet reports that others in the attendance were able to hear them and that Rob and Michelle left the party. Okay, it's unclear if Nick left as well. No other details regarding the party, no timeline. Was he high on drugs? Did he relapse? I mean, that's another thing. Was he drinking? I mean, what was it that caused him to get into a fight with his dad that he saw in some way? Was he drinking? Was he high? Was he intoxicated? Did he lash out his father and mother? I mean, he could be been abused. I don't know. Just throwing it out there. TMZ also reported that Michelle and Rob did not know what to do with Nick. Was a history of addiction to substance. Well, it seems kind of like, it's a nice way of saying, yeah, that's just it's a typical response and saying this is what people deal with when you deal with people with substance abuse. As the National Enquirer previously reported, Nick has been charged with murder. Page 6, he's got a bond for $4 million, but now they're pulling that back. They're saying that there is no bail. He was left in shock after this. Romy with the fatal stab wounds, according to People TMZ, reported their throats were slit. Wow. In his profound sorrow that we announced this, according to TMC report, the couple's daughter told police that a family member should be a suspect because they're dangerous. So the daughter ratted out the brother. Rob and Michelle also share a 34-year-old son, Jake, met when Rob directed When Harry Met Sally, and they married in 89. The Hollywood icon who rose to fame, playing Mike Stivic on All the Family, also directed This Is Spinal Tap, The Princess Bride, Few Good Men. Okay. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, they're tight-lipped on all this stuff, so we don't know if this was premeditated. This was aggravated assault. Did he just lash out? Was he high on drugs? Did he relapse? A lot of oddities in this stuff. We don't know how long that fight was going on. Why so late? I mean, if they had a fight and if they showed up at 3:45 Pacific time, why is it 9? It was reported at 9:15 that they were dead, around 9 o'clock Pacific time, almost 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So why so long of an hours to let people know what happened? It took place. I mean, it appears to be that this happened and that the emergency services were called around 4 o'clock. So that's like a good 4 or 5 hours before this. And so until they were able to, I guess, ascertain all this stuff, then they let the media know. There's a lot of stuff that I think that is open-ended, but we'll get into that. I got more about
in
this.
Hollywood, they have their own like fire trucks, ambulances. They
Yeah.
have their own fake like equipment that they did it with what's her name?
Well, the LAPD
That
showed
actress.
up. So, I mean, yeah, I understand, but emergency services showed up early. All right. And I guess they're not telling us how long they were dead for. See, we haven't heard that. They showed up around 4 o'clock, 3:45 specifically, Pacific Standard Time. But LAPD is reporting that they were dead around when the LAPD showed up. They were dead around 9 something. So it's not like it was a fake ambulance that came out, fake EMTs or fake police. I mean, they just withheld the information for a number of hours. And the question is, why did they do that? Were they ascertaining on waiting to find a suspect? Were they trying to interview people? It just a couple of oddities there. I'm not really sure. Here we are, the rubber tuck. May 2024, Steven Spielberg and Rob Reiner were hired to write the script for direct and produce the 2025 Democrat National Convention using Reiner's production company, Castle Rock Entertainment. Where have you heard that before? Did you know Castle Rock Entertainment right now is currently owned by Warner Brothers Discovery, and it's in the process of selling that to who? Netflix. Yeah. So which had gone out of business but reopened in October 2020 in support of the fake Biden administration. Keep your eyes on Spielberg. Okay. I mean, what do you think about that? I mean, it's just a highly coincidence that we're talking about Castle Rock, okay? And then Warner Brothers is in the process of selling, Discovery is selling Warner Brothers, who owns Castle Rock Entertainment. I thought that was odd. That stands out right now. So what are we seeing? Is this all theater? Is this something else behind here? Were these people taken out? Were they removed? Were they already gone? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it just seems odd in some way that all this stuff is being reported within the last, 24 hours. And this information is, unfurling
We
out.
know who runs Hollywood, and we know how these people operate. We know what book they follow, which starts with a T. I won't say it. And look, who the hell knows, Brett? Just like the other with I said with Charlie, we're not. We're never going to really know. But I mean, it's tragic. It's horrible.
Mhm.
I'll just leave it at that, man. Good. I'll let you keep going, man. I just go ahead, man.
Listen, I'm not sweating from this.
I'm
I don't
not
have
either.
I don't have a fucking tear in my eye.
I was never a fan.
Is that horrible? Do I fucking care?
He
I'm
said
just
a lot of-
reporting this and
yeah,
going over this
yeah.
and just basically asking questions regarding the time frame of it being reported by emergency services and then LAPD and TMZ and other outlets responding to around 9:15 around the time. There's about a 5-hour window, supposedly, that the gap that they were already dead. They were found, they were revived. I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. It seemed odd. And then all of a sudden it was all breaking news everywhere.
To me, it stinks.
It doesn't, there's some weird oddities about this.
Smells strange.
Here's Rob helping. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This could be a frame job too. That's what I'm thinking. Here's Rob helping overthrow the United States government with the Russian collusion narrative. Garbage. Hollywood scourge activists. These people are sick.
We've got a problem. We've been attacked by a foreign enemy power, and our president refuses to defend us. Donald Trump is meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin one-on-one in a closed-door meeting with no aides present and no record of what will be said. Putin's government attacked our democracy by interfering in the 2016 election to help Donald Trump become president. That is not in dispute. It has been verified by all U.S. intelligence agencies, the Republican-led Senate Intelligence Committee, and the U.S. Justice Department. Trump and his campaign's conspiracy with Russia is the subject of a federal investigation. And yet Donald Trump refuses to meet with Robert Mueller, the prosecutor leading that investigation. Trump said he'd meet with anyone. He told us, "I'll speak to anybody." But now he's backing out. If he has nothing to hide, why won't he sit down and answer Mueller's questions? What's he afraid of? In light of his meeting with Putin, it's more imperative than ever that we get that truth. Join me in demanding that Trump meet with Mueller and answer his questions.
Yeah. Okay. So are you shedding a tear now for him? Okay. Wait till you find out more stuff. I mean, to quote Moby Dick from Hell's Heart, I spit at thee with my last dying breath. I stab at thee. I mean, I don't really care. I don't really care about this guy. This guy in some way, whatever. You can't, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, President Trump's response we'll get to that other people were attacking him for. The gloves are off. He's basically saying, fuck him. Who cares? And whatever happened to him in some way, he probably deserved it. I mean, that's a terrible thing to say. I know, but we live in a world where there are terrible, absolute things that happen on a daily basis, probably 1,000 times worse than you can possibly imagine. Okay. And so for this to take place, this is child's play. You know how many times O.J. Simpson supposedly stabbed his wife and Ron Goldman? Like 60 times, almost decapitated her head. All right. And yet they found him not guilty. See my point? Okay.
Notice how he bristled about Putin.
Yeah.
See, exactly. They cannot stand this connection with Putin and Trump.
Well, because they understand what this
fear
is
in their heart.
Well, look what we covered on Friday. We talked about, him coming out with the new G5, the G7 is dead, and basically talking about the sovereign alliance is real. I mean, they all know this. All right. They all know it's coming. But a
Shit's
lot of
crumbling
people,
down,
normies,
man.
NPCs, are not aware of that. Rob Reiner was a vile, disgusting pig. This comes from Tim Kramer, suffering from TDS. But that's not the reason to be murdered by your son. Rob Reiner lived and literally died by the double-edged sword of liberalism. Rest in peace, meathead.
Their labors. Rob Reiner was an angry, vile man.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have been killed by his son, though. That wasn't right. But it shows you what happened.
But see how the narrative is saying he was killed by everybody saying he was killed by his son. His son is just a suspect that they arrested that's being held without bail. All right. So he allegedly killed him, right? Isn't that what we're saying about Tyler Robertson? All right. He allegedly killed him. He hasn't been convicted or, prosecuted of anything. So he allegedly killed him. But see, that's how the narrative is spread. So this guy kills his father and mother in a bit of rage over what? Money? Over drugs? Over a relapse? Multiple times stabbed? This is not a crime of passion. Okay? This is not like OJ almost chopping off his wife's head. There's something else.
Happens when you're raised in that environment, when anything that you want is okay, that you can justify anything, and mommy and daddy tell you that you're not going to get the inheritance that you thought you were going to get, and well, that's what happens. That's the liberal mentality. They lived and died by exactly how they lived. Now, the fact that I'm pointing that out doesn't make me somebody that, oh, you're disrespecting him. I have no respect for Rob Reiner. He was a vile pig. Did I mention that at the beginning? But I did not wish death upon him or his wife, or that his family be destroyed this way. No, I didn't have to. Liberal ideology did all the work for me.
You're watching the Kramer.
Good point. I mean, was it too far to go ahead and make that assertion? People were attacking President Trump. I have it right here. I'll get to that in a second. But let me show you Mike Benz. All right. Because we're going to come back to what Kramer was saying. Mike Benz put this out. I thought this was pretty good. And listen to what he says about this. Look, I understand. I highly recommend that everybody find Jesus, go to heaven. Otherwise, you will live with Rob Reiner for eternity. It's a good one. Tracer C4, I'm sorry that you're sick. You have a virus been going around because I never get sick this long. Yeah, I know there's something going around. I know a couple of people are sick. Dried leather doesn't. Yeah, I understand. Didn't Rob and Michelle both make movies? Nick's drug and mental issues. Yeah, sounds abusive and propagandizing. Yeah, probably. I don't know. We don't know what's behind this deep dark of this troubled young man. We don't know. Don't know. Don't even know if it's him. The police suspect it's him. Doesn't necessarily mean it is him. And if it is him, I wouldn't be. Is this any different from the Menendez brothers? Remember, the Menendez brothers were going to be let out by California until the AG pulled that back. For what? They killed both the parents while they slept because the father abused both the boys and the mother allowed it to go on. She was well aware of it. That's why both brothers murdered their parents while they slept. 3 of the CIA directors serving as advisors to Rob Reiner were also on board with the Atlantic Council. Let me say that again. 3 of the CIA directors serving as advisors to Rob Reiner, the man that was just murdered supposedly by his son and his wife, also are on board of the Atlantic Council. Michael Morrell, Michael Hayden, and Leon Panetta. You know those names. Did I mention the Atlantic Council was sponsored by Burisma and signed by Burisma Partnership Deal? Interesting. Here we go. Let me look at that. Ooh, James Clapper, Michael Hayden, Michael Morrell. Look at those names. Actor, producer Rob Reiner served as the organization's director. Does this Wag the Dog come out? Ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to Wag the Dog. It has 7 former CIA directors currently serving on its own board of directors. Wouldn't that be odd in some way? Why would you need 7? That seems really... Oh, look, David Petraeus, Michael Morrell, William Webster, Robert Gates. Wasn't Robert Gates President Trump's defense secretary or CIA director? No, he was CIA director, I think. Former DHA Secretary Michael Chertoff, remember him? He was number 2 Homeland Secretary. Where did he come from for Homeland? Chris Krebs' old boss, where he worked for DHS under Bush administration, is also on the Atlantic Council director as several other major DHS figures. Chertoff was the interim head and the review authority of DHS's Disinformation Governance Board. Oh, remember Biden was going to put that out? Very interesting. Chertoff, very tight with Israel, dual passport citizen. Let's just put it that way. And he was number 2 at Homeland Secretary. Burisma and Atlantic Council side cooperative agreement. Largest private gas producer in Ukraine forges relationship with new U.S. Do you understand why Meathead was acting out against President Trump in his first term and all the way through the stolen election? Think about that. All right. The connection with Burisma. I just think that when you see this and you hear this and you're like, wow, this seems kind of odd in some way, Marshall. Why would that connection be so big? And you know what? His ties go really deep. So ask yourself again, is it possible that the son didn't do it and that he's set up to take the fall? You have 7 CIA directors. Was there a reason to ixnay him, so to speak, and his wife? Did the son just come home and find him there? Or is it just an elaborate ruse to say they had a huge fight and then that's it? And then these bodies were discovered later. I'm just throwing that out.
I don't buy it, man.
Seems
I don't buy it. You know, that was my first time seeing this. I didn't see it earlier today.
Mhm.
I looked through it, but maybe this was something that either way, after seeing this and all these people that were involved with Rob Reiner, I knew that he was involved somewhat. I had seen before, but that depth, you got, what is it, 6 or 7 CIA people? There is no way in my mind at this point, after seeing all this, that this kid acted alone.
Well, let me remind you of the movie Wag the Dog with Dustin Hoffman and Robert De Niro. There's a scene at the end of the movie, Wag the Dog. You can go watch it on YouTube real quickly, where Dustin Hoffman flips out because he realizes he's not going to get credit for this production that he put together, all right, very quickly to stage this whole narrative, all right, about covering up, about making a false idol, a false hero in some way, and all this to cover up scenarios regarding to the daughter and all this palace intrigue of the movie. And they were tasked together to make sure that they would optically, let's just say, put an illusion over the American public. And so when Dustin Hoffman realized that, you know, this is a guy that, you know, took pride in what he did, the character, he wanted to make sure he get the recognition for doing this. And this was, and Robert De Niro was telling him, you can't come out and tell anybody this. We'll all go to jail. You can't do this. And then so what happens at the end of the movie? He leaves, and then a bunch of men in black suits show up, unmarked car, take him away, and then that's it. They probably dispatch with them. And I think, to me, it's very similar to understanding this connection with these 7 CIA operatives, the production set of the 2020 stolen election, Castle Rock Entertainment. That's why I'm trying to put the picture here. Did he know too much? Was he involved in too much? I mean, it's easy to say that, hey, look, the son had problems. They had a fight. It was orchestrated. And then what happens? They go home, and then the son happened to show up there or met because the parents left before him. So they must have showed up to the house later. I don't know all the details. I'm just throwing this out there as something to think about. Because slicing someone's throat, I mean, how close was he? He had to get up behind them, or did he have something sharp right up front? Just you know, I think when I think of someone being sliced, I think about some of them holding their head back and cutting their neck. You know? I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know. It just seems odd to me. I don't know what your thoughts are. Like, share, and subscribe. Drop us a gold pill. Comments, questions, or concerns. Let's hear your thoughts about this. Some with a drug and mental issue would be the perfect patsy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Trusty.
Yep.
You know?
And with Hollywood having
the grand jury of OJ bought the double homicide, that it was somebody else that did it. Okay? And there was a lot of evidence, maybe tainted evidence, that OJ did do it. And a lot of people believed he did it. But that jury decided that LA cops are crooked and they're going to do a frame job on him. And then what happened? They basically voted that he's not guilty because he's black and everything else. And that's why he got off. It was a huge thing. A huge thing. Trump's vile response made Rob Reiner's death all about himself. And it worked. I think this is brilliant. President Trump's reaction to reports surrounding the death of Rob Reiner and his wife was easy to condemn and harder to ignore. Not because it was shocking. Trump rarely is anymore, but because it demonstrated once again how reliably his worst instincts are rewarded. Both before authorities had confirmed having a suspect in custody, Trump immediately folded the gruesome tragedy into a familiar solipsistic narrative about himself. The violent deaths of a filmmaker and his wife were stripped of gravity and recast as proof of Trump's favorite claim. That opposition to him is not disagreement, but pathology. The victims vanished almost instantly. Trump took their place. I think this was brilliant that he put out there. But how the media, and how the media is responding to this is it shows you they still have TDS. This is the point. He's proving this. This is usually where the criticism stops, but with some variation on cruelty, narcissism, or indecency. But Shakespeare's Paulinus had it right. Though this be madness, yet there is method in it. Focusing only on Trump's character misses the more uncomfortable truth. He behaves this way because it works. Trump does not respond to news so much as it sees it. He has learned that speed beats accuracy, provocation beats restraint, and domination beats decorum. In an attention economy driven by algorithms and outrage, the fastest way to own a story is to refuse the norm that once governed public life. Verification slows you down. Silence costs you relevance. Trump has adjusted accordingly. All right, let's go through this at the bottom. It says, Trump often claims that he alone understands how power works now. He may be wrong about how many things, but on this point, he isn't wrong. The incentives favor him. The attention follows him. The norms that he once constrained behavior has been converted into liabilities, which leaves an awkward question with no easy answer. If Trump is rewarded every time he behaves this way, and if condemnation only tightens his grip on the narrative, then what looks like unfitness may also be the most successful strategy available, naming that reality doesn't solve it. But pretending it isn't true only guarantees that it continues. Wow, this is amazing. And the reaction on how they parlayed this out and when Trump said and stuff, he basically said, look, the gloves are off. I don't really care. This guy was a piece of shit. He destroyed himself the way he was involved with all these Trump derangement syndromes and all these scenarios that he put himself in. There's more to what Trump put out today regarding Rob Reiner, if you unpack it. And if you go into a deeper dive of understanding who Rob Reiner was, he went to Epstein Island. He's on the list. There are a lot of things that Trump could have easily said. He held back, but I think the point was valid. There was a great vacuous moment for him to fill the void rather quickly and say the things he did. And then he said what? Trump derangement syndrome got to him. Wow. Pretty shocking, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, it also brought out a lot of people who you can see who stands where.
Mhm.
You know, look, after all, this guy literally was part of the people that tried to get Trump killed. He literally was part of that because of the things that he inflamed. And he's got a big platform, or he had a big platform where he had millions of people that could hear him and listen to him and go on Twitter and say all these vile things about Trump. He never stopped, this guy.
Well, not to
And
mention
yeah,
that some of the people that sat on that board that Rob Reiner had as a production company, 7 of those CIA former people were part of the 51 intelligence operators that helped lie during the debate on CNN and actually said, yeah, and did the disinfo on the actual Hunter Biden laptop. So you consider that they were part of the election fraud as well. So it goes a lot further and a lot deeper when you really look into that. At least 6 of the people, because I don't think Robert Gates was one of those people, but 6 out of those 7 that served on that board were part of the 51 intelligence operators that basically claimed that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinfo. So President Trump has every right to venomously go after him, target him, and attack him in such a way. And you know what? So be it. Who cares? I mean, the only thing that could come better out of this is that the son didn't do it. And now the hunt's on to find somebody else. But I don't believe that. I think they're going to paint this guy as the killer, and that's it. They're going to go after him.
it's just like the
Very
Charlie
suspect
Kirk
to
thing,
me.
man.
Yeah.
It's just like they're giving you a narrative.
Mhm.
I think Trump knows. I guarantee you Trump knows. He knows all of it probably.
Well,
But he's
it would definitely meet the idea, the point in some way that if we were going to say the connectivity to President Trump's Truth Social about Rob Reiner and putting that out was deliberate and intentional, not because the way he felt about him, but the way he knew that he
Yep.
knew something more about the situation. Again, I go back to the time, 3:45 p.m., 5 hours elapsed till about 9:15. LAPD reports that both the Reiners are dead, cut by the throats cut, stabbed multiple times.
They were
Okay.
putting together their story.
Yeah, someone was putting together a story. I mean, I don't know. And now the kid is being what? Charged as a suspect in the murder of this. Okay. I mean, it was reported early that he wasn't a suspect. And then they later changed that. Oh, he's in custody already. And they're charging him. And then they went back and said no bail. And then they went back $4 million bail. So I think in some way there was lapses about how they were getting this narrative and how it was reported. I had about 15 different articles between last night at 1 o'clock in the morning till 2 o'clock going over which is what. And I was waited. I'm like, I'll wait till the morning to get more further vindication of where we are with this. Trusty term, gift of the cookie, Brett. What do you think about TPUSA abruptly canceling their live stream about Candace's claims? And the Erica has a private meeting with her today. I'm going to get to that. We're going to cover that. I'm going to move quickly now. We're going to move forward to that. We're going to cover that. In the last 24 hours, 3 Americans killed in Syria by Muslims, at least 12 people murdered in Sydney by Muslims. It was up to 16 now. And I believe that one of the people weren't necessarily Muslim. I believe that they were Italian and something else. And it's reported that one of them wasn't Muslim. 5 Muslims arrested for plotting an attack on German Christmas market. Yep, Paris canceled their Christmas celebration because of Muslim terrorist threats. Providence, Rhode Island police said the Brown University shooter yelled something as he was shooting, a strong indication that it could be another Muslim. Yeah, but they can't find the guy. They can't find the guy. I wonder why that is. Keystone Cops, worse than the Keystone Cops. How did the FBI able to what? In 24, 48 hours, get the actual alleged assassin? They didn't. They didn't find him. He turned himself in with his father and the sheriff. And that video subsequently was deleted and removed. Remember that. Keep that in mind. This is part of the narrative that they're selling you, Marshall.
Yeah, I just this whole thing really reeks, man. I mean, there's definitely more to this, way more. And
I'm
when
going
you
to
get
jump
the
into that. We're
Burisma
going to
thing,
get into the cancels.
you get the whole Burisma thing. That even go
Oh,
ahead.
well, the Burisma thing, yes, the 6 or 7 Intel operators, CIA directors sat on that board. Why would they be sitting on that board? Because they helped guide and set up the actual 2020 stolen election. Is that what we're talking about? It was part of the Castle Rock entertainment. You saw the fake White House. Okay, it was shown many a times inside in one of the buildings. The fake White House. It was all an elaborate ruse. A lot of people don't believe that, but that's the truth. So he was in connection or part and parcel of this. Again, I go back to Wag the Dog and the Dustin Hoffman character, the producer, director of that, all right, phony story to cover up something in an election time to protect the incoming administration that was hired by a political operatives to set something up in motion to distract from the narrative. And they had to do away with the guy played by Dustin Hoffman because of the fact is he wanted to come out and win his award. He thought he was going to win a fucking Oscar for this. He didn't understand that he had to keep his mouth shut or they're going to kill him. That's why I see some causality here. Police released Brown University person of interest. No suspect in custody. This is a damn shame what they did. And the person of interest detained in the investigation was an Army soldier. Benjamin Erickson, current social media shows he was interested in gender equity, support for refugees and migrants. Apparently, he was let go. Listen to this. They let him go.
Shortly,
or they let
we will be releasing
or not.
the person of interest who had been detained earlier today. And Attorney General can speak a little bit about the rationale for that, but we want to inform the community that that individual will shortly be released from Providence Police.
So you got the wrong guy. Okay, I got more. You got the wrong guy. You were out there toting this that you had somebody right away. Even the FBI was saying they had someone right away. You had President Trump's staff telling him they caught the guy and then had to retract that as the police retracted. So they jumped to conclusions right away. And for some reason, we don't know why, they went after this guy, this Army soldier. I don't know if he was retired or not. He might have a lawsuit on his hands because they were going after him. I mean, you should see the vicious attacks. Brett, the neighbors said the son did it. Neighbors usually know things. Okay. I'm glad the neighbors know things. I'm just giving you an alternate reality. I understand my perception and how I perceive things, Alita, and how I view this and what I'm showing you. That's what I want you to see. Just because the neighbors know everything doesn't mean the alternate reality that I'm putting you up and the psyop that you see on a daily basis is not what necessarily that's always on your radar. That's what I'm showing you. Authorities still searching for Brown University gunmen. We're also advising every member of Brown community to be vigilant. So, I mean, for hours on hours, they were on lockdown. As Ben noted yesterday, authorities released the person of interest. Brown University Attorney General Peter Naroa announced lab tests and evidence linked to the detained man came back negative, and that evidence now points in a different directions. As investigation continues, we are asking anyone with relevant information, including the photo. As Providence police continue to lead this investigation, they've informed Brown that they're continuing their search efforts, which includes ongoing coordination. They don't have a clue. We continue to make every effort to ensure. This campus has over 800 cameras. They said at one point 1,100. Now, I'm thinking the same thing. What is the similarity here or dissimilarity between Charlie Kirk's assassination and this? One happened later towards the evening in the snow. This one happened in broad daylight. And what happened? They were able to not find cameras or information, which they kept hidden away from the public because the possibility they're going to use it against Tyler Robinson if he's the guy. I don't know. But everybody was asking, what about the cameras from Turning Point? Here's the same thing. I'm going to show you this. Fox News comes out. I'm just fast tracking this right now. Fox News just came out not even an hour ago, and they're putting out right now, and I'm going to show you. This is their footage they have. So authorities released 3 new videos of suspected Brown University gunmen. The videos were taken 2 hours before the shooting and show a man wearing a mask, dark clothing, police believe to be the person of interest. So now they got another person of interest around 5 feet, 8 inches with a stocky build. All right, let's play this. So you're going to see multiple videos. This came out about an hour ago.
Then you see him walking. On the sidewalk of Benevolent.
What's he looking at?
Then you see him walking.
Okay. Would you find that in Ring cameras? I mean, Marshall, I mean, it's again, the strains of credulity. When you think about that and understand and compare it to Charlie Kirk and that assassination, it just seems odd. You have all these cameras on this campus, but yet no one saw this guy at all. They didn't see this guy at all until it was too late. I'm going to get to a couple other things. Your thoughts as we move on.
One thing I do notice between this, Charlie Kirk, and also the acid attack on that woman in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
These are all white Christians.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something, there is some, a pattern there. And that's probably, we could probably find more that have the same pattern. But there's something behind that pattern, is what I'm thinking. There's something behind it that wants that pattern.
Well, that's why I'm saying that a lot of this chaos is coordinated. It's engineered in some way.
Create something.
Right. And it's not just here. It started in Syria, and then it carried over, and then you could start to see a wave of this chaos sweep through and then affect us, hit Sydney and other places. Thea donating 700 gold pills. Thank you so much. Dropping the shades. Thank you. Darlell, gifted the can. Maybe panic attacks lead to suicide weekend. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But Drano comes out here and says, why they falsely blamed a white Army veteran for the Brown shooting and can't find the actual shooter. The mayor of Providence. There you go. Exactly. And they were also told to hush up because on a lot of different things. Did you see any of this stuff? I think I got a couple in here. I don't know. I thought I had one more. I guess not. Oh, yeah, I think I do. I have a couple more in here. Let's get into it more. Cash Patel. I see a Blue Devilian man. Yeah, Cash said so, period. Well, I don't know what Cash is saying about this, but the FBI, they were there to help and assist the Providence police. Apparently, this is their jurisdiction. So
Yeah.
they're there to help them and assist them. So the Keystone Cash Patel plunged into scandal as FBI Free Soldier 24, who was named and shamed over Brown shooting. Yeah, I would say so. Patel is at the center of another embarrassing fiasco after the FBI released a person of interest detained over a mass shooting. The FBI wrongfully detained, so they did it. A 24-year-old Army sniper whose name and photo was leaked to the press. Yep, I smell a lawsuit. Attorney General Peter Narono admitted on Sunday. Think about what happened in 1996 with the Atlanta bombing at the Olympics. Did anybody remember that?
That guy.
They destroyed that guy. He ended up killing himself. How about go back and watch the documentary about that and find out who are the FBI agents in charge of the case? Big names will pop up. Also, look at the attorney that defended him. I forget the guy's name, but it was a very sad
Kind of
story.
a heavy set dude.
And he killed himself. Yeah, and he was there to help people. And then they put it all onto him. Again, the FBI doing a fucking bang-up job. The gunman opened fire during a review session for an introductory economics final around 4 p.m. Saturday. He killed 2 students, including Ella Cook, 19, vice president of the Ivy League School Republican Club. 48 hours later, FBI is back at square one, and Patel is under scrutiny over a botched arrest. Well, that's my point. Okay? I mean, they didn't arrest Tyler Robinson. All right? It was the Utah police did. He surrendered to the sheriff. They didn't catch anybody. All right? We haven't seen any of the evidence thereafter if they have anything that's viable. But in this scenario, they don't even have footage. Where is all the cameras? You only see 3 videos that just dropped recently. And they try to implicate a former Army sniper. And then they painted the picture this guy had problems. Right away, investigative experts warn that authorities must now start from scratch reviewing the evidence after they lead to the wrong individual. Keystone Cash. This is not a good look. It's not a good look. You know what? I know they're helping out here and trying to push this forward because there's a lot of questions regarding, I think, about the death. And let me say this right now about the murder of the vice president, Ella Cook, of the Brown University College's Republican. Was she targeted for conservative beliefs? And were any of the victims targeted for their beliefs? And/or was this indiscriminate, arbitrary, or haphazard? Are we to say that there was another shooting? Think about it. There's about 1% on that campus of conservative value Republicans. The rest are like 90% plus, all gay, transgender. They have like 40% of the people that go to that school are in binary trans scenarios. It's a very gay liberal college. Okay, so it wouldn't be so difficult to see that someone wanted to come on there, either exploit this in that narrative to go after the Republican and then catch other people up indiscriminately to throw the trail off, or to go up there and shoot up the school because of this in some way. There's a lot of different arguments about this. I'm going to be careful about making the distinction when saying it's indiscriminate because we're not really sure. And I'm not really sure who it is. They don't even know who this is. And I think their window right now, if they go 72 hours or longer, they're not going to find this person. Unless you have video footage of him, all right, in the economics building, shooting her, and the other person was another kid from Uzbekistan. I don't know if he got caught in the crossfire, but it died. So 2 people are dead, and you have about 8 or 9 people that were wounded. Not fatally, not mortally, but the bottom line is that the longer this goes on, the less likely they're going to find somebody unless they have camera footage or identification or some DNA. But the guy was wearing gloves that from that picture, had a mask on, had a hat on. We don't know. Listen to this.
How you all are working together to garner that information. Custody is the wrong word. Someone being detained.
Custody is the wrong word. You hear that? Let's play that.
being detained, rather.
Correct. And so, yeah, someone being detained, it led us to that point.
Someone being detained. Someone being.
Yep.
Someone being detained, rather.
Correct. And so, yeah, someone being detained, it led us to that point as far.
Now someone's.
It sounds like the incompetence of these guys, of the Providence police. Okay. Now, if they're aiding and assisting in the sense of they're setting up a net to track the phones, all right, in some way, but I didn't see any of those people using a phone. If this kid was smart or whoever this person was, wasn't walking around with a phone to communicate in some way that they can triangulate the position of this and then track the phones in those areas in some way. Yeah, DEI hires. Yeah, no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Guy could barely speak fucking English. You could barely understand what he's saying to the press. It's embarrassing that he can't figure this out.
It's just like Utah, man.
Yep.
Where they let the local police take charge of the whole thing.
Yeah, and the governor spoke
same-
up in the conferences.
Yeah, it is,
Remember?
to me. Yeah,
Governor
it-
Cox was speaking up the whole time, Marshall. He was the one running the investigation for
Yeah.
some reason. And he just had a powwow with Shapiro doing an interview and saying, yeah, I would support this guy for president. Can you believe this guy? Part of the tranny furry group. Oh, my God. It was embarrassing.
You know what? I tell you what, man. It's starting to it's starting to feel like more that this is being allowed to happen.
Yep.
That the FBI is like, no, we're going to let y'all just go ahead and keep doing, we'll just help you. I mean, it feels like they're letting them show us who they are or something.
Yeah. Sailing
Something
upward. Yeah.
very-
I mean, look, the question is it the FBI's fault or is it the Providence police? Well, it's the Providence police, the Campus police, because they have jurisdiction. The FBI was asked to come in here to help out, but they apparently held this guy for detained this guy for questioning, and upon questioning, they realized they ruled him out. Okay, process of elimination. But they already jumped the gun, and they accused a white Army sniper right away. And then they started to fill in the blanks about this person. Not good. Not good at all. And the question is, who leaked that information out? They should have never done that. And this was done purposely. All right. And I think they don't want to find the killer, because if the killer turns out to be trans, this is going to destroy the school mantra. The school is 40% gay, trans, bi, what have you. All right.
It's a six-figure.
You have the mayor that's gay. You could see him with this couple holding hands and daunting the goddamn rainbow umbrella. It's embarrassing. All right. They don't want this liberal school tainted to be shot up as a trans shooter.
It's a moneymaker for them because it's $100,000 a year per student.
They don't find
money.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, they're not going to find the shooter. They're not. They're not. There's no way. Mark Helpin, people are telling me the Brown University attack was targeting Ella Cook, a prominent conservative on campus. Whoa.
I believe that.
Thank you,
Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That the family of Ella Cook, the Alabama young woman who was a sophomore, has been told that she was the target of what happened at Brown. I have no idea whether that's true. There's other theories about why the person did what they did, but now that we don't know who the assailant is, it's going to be harder to say. But if it's true that she was targeted, that's a big story because she was one of the most visible conservatives on that campus. Don't know that it's true.
Visible conservative. It wouldn't be so hard to think that it was a trans student, maybe a trans shooter, maybe a person didn't go to the school, maybe a binary person, maybe a furry who targeted her because of her viewpoints and her conservative values, then shot up the school because wanted to throw people off tracks in some way. Why kill the guy from Uzbekistan? Apparently, that's what he was, Uzbekistan, and he was training to be a doctor or something. So, I mean, he was going to school with that. So, why kill him? Was it just accidental? Did he see who the shooter was? So I got to take him out too. Possible. That's something to consider. Hey, he was a witness, so I got to remove him and then shoot up 7 other people in the process.
But probably most of you don't even know that's being alleged because you'd have to follow certain accounts on X or have sources, as I do, who are telling me that. So, Amber, if she was targeted, and again, we don't know that, but if she were targeted, what would the implications of that be?
Well, I'll start with a couple of things that I think lend credence to that theory, which is one, typically when we see mass school shooters, they don't just stop and walk away, right? Usually they keep going until they're apprehended by police, shot dead, or they kill themselves.
Yeah, Amber,
In this case,
let me just stop you.
yep.
I should have been clear. She was the number 2 person at the Young Republicans branch on Brown's campus. So that's why some people are concerned if she were targeted. Go ahead, Amber. I apologize.
Right. Well, and the other thing is, if the police are telling Brown,
Well, you can't have that out there, because then you'd have another conservative shot and killed. You can't put that out there, because then that argument is like
Yeah.
a liberal campus where someone was
Another
going to
school.
college, and then that would hurt anybody for donations, for people wanting to apply at that school, that you'll be targeted in any way because of who you are and your values. Collateral damage at We Are Rise. Yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree with that. Think about the patternicity here. You know, all day Bannon and other people were using the term pattern recognition. Well, the patternicity about this is chaos coordinated. Is there a meaningful order to this chaos? All right. So you can understand where this goes to. Gun control, conservative viewpoints, First and Second Amendment rights. Take that out. Trans shooter.
Christianity.
You could see the narratives as a collage painted out there. And they didn't, or they truly decided not to find who this person was, because the blowback would be detrimental to Brown University, an Ivy League school, predominantly liberal and gay, of the students that go there. It would destroy the reputation of the school in every facet. You probably have less people wanting to sign up to go to college there, or, you know, getting applications or getting funding or what have you. It would be problematic. And I think there's a possibility you have to consider that there might be a cover-up.
Students, that they are safe, they don't have to shelter in place anymore, but they don't have a suspect in custody. I think that also suggests that this was some kind of targeted attack. Sadly, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, when I was on campus at Georgetown, I was chair of the college Republicans. I had to report multiple threats against me in my final 2 years on campus.
Yeah, I mean, look, she's saying that. I'm saying that. There's a lot of different discussions that are not being brought up. And the focus is finding the person, okay? But it's not about finding the person, finding the motive. The motive is starting to fill out the person or the suspect or suspects. That's another point. But the idea, the intent behind here, was this a targeted assassination? And maybe in some way he didn't want to leave witnesses. But the other people that were shot, we haven't heard any of their stuff. I mean, they're in recovery. We don't know if the police interviewed them. But they're still looking for somebody off cameras a couple of blocks away. Darla, I'll give to the can. Bottom line, it's gun control. That's the agenda. Yeah, well, that's where they're doing. They're trying to not only now impeach Bobby Kennedy, they're going after the Second Amendment, the narrative of the Second Amendment. Well, it's going to fail. It's going to fail because what happened in Australia? They have the strictest gun control laws in the country, and those guns that were used to shoot up the 16 people there and one child were what? Legal guns. The question is, how did they get those legal guns? If it's that hard to get guns, period. That's something to think about, Marshall.
Well, and the other thing is, my question is, which university is next? Because believe me, they probably got a list.
No, definitely. But
and they're trying to shut down.
Ivy
They're
League
trying to
school,
do a
though.
lot of things.
Don't
with
you
all
think
this.
there's a connection
It's not
there?
just one subject that they're. I'm sorry. Go ahead. What?
An Ivy League school, though. Brown University. You're not hearing shootings in Stanford, Harvard, Yale, but Brown University. It's one of the biggest Ivy League schools. Very expensive. You know, you think campus police would be strong there, would be tighter. Providence police, they'd have security there. The cameras would be operational. It just leaves me to chance the idea that they may not want to find this for the publicity, the blowback, and the eventuality that this was a targeted assassination on a conservative by somebody that wasn't conservative.
No Christian conservatives allowed.
Exactly. That's the other argument that you'll kind of draw from that. Here's Brown University's victim. Look at this young girl, 19 years old, VP of Republican Club. What a fucking shame. What an absolute disgusting shame. Another attack on a white Christian. Another murder and a death of a white Christian woman. Don't think that we have a problem in this country with white Christians being murdered, men and women? Don't think so?
Acid
Again,
attack was the same thing down in Georgia. They're not
Yep.
talking about it.
No one's talking
won't
about
talk
that.
about
I mean, you
At
had
all.
the mayor of Georgia. I have so much stuff I couldn't cover. But
Savannah.
the mayor of Georgia is
Savannah.
asking for help. Excuse me, of Savannah is asking for help for that area. I guess they have military bases there. This was a white Christian woman walking in a very famous, pronounced park. Had acid thrown on her, a substance that burned her skin that they find that was really, and why was she attacked? I personally look at this as more than a target attack. I wonder if they tried to murder her in some way and then someone hired that person to do it. But maybe I'll cover it another time. But again, a story that's not crept into
There's so
the
many
whole,
out there, Brad.
Yeah.
It's can't keep up with it.
So 4 FBI, far left terrorists plotting to detonate several bombs in LA. So they got this right, okay, on New Year's Eve. So this just came out today. Federal authorities say they stopped what could have been one of the deadliest far left terror attacks in modern history, arrested 4 alleged members of a radical pro-Hamas extremist network who were reportedly preparing coordinated New Year's Eve bombings across Los Angeles. The plot sought to target innocent New Year's Eve revelers by detonating several bombs in multiple locations across the Southern California. There's a movie, actually not a movie. I just watched it again. I watched the whole series. Go watch the Jack Ryan series with, I don't know, what's his name? Jack Krasinski, Jake, I forget what's his name. Anyway, it's the series that came out a couple of years ago. It's a 4-part series. In the last series, they try to smuggle in through a network of drug cartels and operations, a 5-tier, multi-tier chemical attack scenario into trucks that would be detonated by what? By some type of VR or VF frequency. Krasinski. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Really good series. I would watch it again and try to get through the border, and they stopped it. It was fantastic. And understand that. And this makes me think exactly what this came up. The FBI confirmed the arrest on Monday, and that came out a couple of years ago. John Krasinski. Yep. Go watch that Jack Ryan series. It is fantastic.
Where's that at?
Actually, it's on Prime. You can go watch it. If you watch the second season about Venezuela, it's everything that's going on in Venezuela now is what happened in that series 3 years ago. According to FBI, suspects identified themselves as part of the violent offshoot of the Turtle Island Liberation Front. Okay. The leftist fringe group is steeped in pro-Hamas agitation, anti-police extremism, capitalism, open hostility towards the government. Investigators say the cell was plotting to detonate improvised explosive devices at 5 separate locations, just exactly like I was pointing out to you about the Jack Ryan series that's on Prime. This is exactly it. In 5 different trucks dispersed out there in different locations where they can automatically turn the sensors on. And that was done by a secret group of cartels that were taking over through Myanmar and through Mexico. Interesting. Authorities arrested 4 suspects in Lucerne Valley, where they were allegedly preparing to test explosives ahead of the coordinated attacks. And again, another senator was involved with that. That is another point of order of the series. Each now faces federal charges, including conspiracy, possession of a destructive device. Marshall, your thoughts, because I want to show something right now.
No, I mean, you just got me thinking about this Jack Ryan.
Go watch
Jack Ryan thing.
The
Yeah,
second,
I mean, wasn't there
the
a
second
movie?
series-
Wasn't there a movie though?
No.
Jack
Yeah,
Ryan
this is
movie?
John Krasinski is in this. All right, he directed it. You go watch this. It's not the
'cause I have
movie.
Prime.
It's a
I wanna see
4-part
this.
series on Prime. The second season, having to do with Venezuela, is exactly what's taking place in Venezuela now.
Okay.
The 4th season is exactly taking place from that script that we just saw that the FBI busted. I'm not shitting you. You'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe it.
Yeah,
All right.
I believe it. I want to check it out. No, I don't have any more comments on that one. Go ahead to the.
Okay, so I just want to make a joke about this. All right, and I don't want to say this,
I
but the
remember
TILF, plot in Los Angeles. All right. When you think about that, what comes to mind?
Are to be released from their captors. In Northern Ireland, the 7 members of the new Provo Front. In Canada, the 5 imprisoned leaders of Liberté de Québec. In Sri Lanka, the 9 members.
There's a point to this.
What the fuck?
Asian Dawn.
About them in Time magazine.
Do you think they'll even try to do it?
Who cares?
No, darling. Asian Dawn.
That's my point. Is this a distraction? That's what I'm trying to say. That this TILF. Let me read you a couple of things right now because I want to show you. I want to talk about this real quickly. All right. It reminds me in a lot of ways part of the Jack Ryan series, but a pretext for rolling out the next phase of domestic destabilization. All right. Imagine 5 bombs going off at once across major U.S. cities on New Year's Eve. More info on the GazetteTeller.com. This is where it comes from. The panic, the fear, the finger pointing. It would have been perfect smokescreen for a deeper elite operations plan for early 2026. It would have justified emergency powers for governors and deep state sympathizers embedded in the judicial system, and it would have been derailed everything Trump and the military have been prepping. But it failed. The plan collapsed. The arrests were made, and the intelligence gathered from the operation is now being used to hunt the financiers and the handlers behind the sale. And yes, there are more arrests coming. People think the war in the Middle East or Ukraine, but the real war is happening in data centers, bunkers, tunnels, high rises from Seattle to Dubai. The global elite have been operating above the law for decades. Whether Antifa, offshoots, climate cultists, or indigenous liberation fronts, as we see here, are going berserk right now because the central control nodes are being deleted in real time. Let me read you another thing that I said. This comes from the Gazette Teller. It's an excellent article, by the way. GazetteTeller.com. All right. They were caught with bomb-making materials, active plans for 5 different IEDs in LA. We're communicating through encrypted apps like Signal in a group called Order of the Black Lotus. But this wasn't just radical activism. This was tactical terrorism, backed by money, planning, and ideology. Think about that. And this goes far above and beyond anything organic. The mainstream press will pretend that this was an isolated group, and it wasn't. What we're looking at yet is another proxy arm of the global elite's shadow war against the United States. Another false front, another destabilization asset being used to create internal chaos under the banner liberation and anti-colonialism. And this time, they nearly got away with it. But they didn't because Trump is in charge and the military alliance is in full control. The FBI may be in public facing agency announcing these arrests, but the sources confirm that the operation was jointly coordinated with multiple military intelligence branches, the same alliances that have been quietly dismantling the global infrastructure. Again, that comes from GazetteTeller.com. That's a really good article. Go there and read it. They have a couple of articles. I have another one that I'm going to show you later. Marshall, your thoughts and opinion on that. I think that was a magnificent way of them breaking down in some way, but it gives you an idea that there are so many of these different little front group names that you've never heard of for somehow are being facilitated out through financiers because where are they getting this money to do it? Who is doing it when everything else is shut off? All the NGOs are being shut off. Where is this money coming from? All right. And that's the thing. Now that they arrested these people, they'll be able to find out how they got their money, where did they get the actual equipment to build this and the chemicals to make this.
Man, I tell you, I don't know if that's the most troubling part of all this, Brett. Where do they keep getting all this fucking money? I mean, we're supposedly shutting off these NGOs, and they're still finding money somewhere to continue the bullshit. I just don't. It's very frustrating.
Right.
I don't get it, man. I just can't. I don't have an answer for that other than that. I mean, it's frustrating though. It really is.
It is. Listen to the FBI.
To my talking points on December 12th, a group of individuals, again members of this anti-government group, traveled out to the desert to test their explosive devices. They had precursor chemicals there, and they were going to create these bombs in the desert. What they are starting to do is put their chemicals and wares and the components out on the table there. This footage that you're watching is from our surveillance plane. And then what happened after this is the Los Angeles FBI SWAT team, along with the FBI's hostage rescue team, moved in and arrested all 4 subjects without incident.
Wow. That's a relief, right? I mean, at least they're doing something right. I mean, maybe they should stick to finding the terrorists and not these shooters at school. I mean, look, I'm not implying in some way that they screwed the pooch here. I blame the Providence police, the mayor. I blame the campus police. The fact that the security on this school was not more secured. This is a private school with everything that is taking place. Okay, on college campuses, you would think this Ivy League school that is very liberal, leans very, very to the left, very progressive in a lot of ways, would have more security on it in some way, that they would be able to control this narrative that's out there. I find it too easy that this was allowed to happen, and it seems like this person was targeted. I don't know. What's your thoughts?
The fact that you just said it was allowed to happen is a key word.
Yeah.
They allowed it to happen.
Mhm.
I mean, that's what they're all about. They didn't want this girl there.
Right.
She was a kind of a go-to for conservatives on that campus.
I think we might find that out. And it's a very hard pressing thing to say. She comes from Alabama.
Oh, they don't like that at all.
Yeah. I mean,
think she
if
started in Auburn.
that comes out right now, if this turns out to be a hit, a hired hit, someone hired, I mean, and then shoot up the school just to make it look like a distraction, you got to consider that. Again, was this coordinated? Was this chaos coordinated? Again, this patternicity here, are we saying, is it like what happened in Tennessee at the Christian school? Is it like other patterns we've seen? That's what I'm trying to say. Is it any dissimilar to what happened to Charlie Kirk? Well, 9 people got shot, 2 are dead. So obviously, is it bigger than Charlie Kirk's death? Yes, because more people were injured, more people died. But yet, no one's really taking notice about that because it wasn't big as Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA. That's the key. And the oddities that face that. This is very circumspect because of the fact is that there is no video footage. There is 0 video footage inside of this happening. We didn't see 7 other people get shot. All right. We didn't see other people dying. We still haven't seen everything from the Tennessee trans shooter.
Charlie Kirk was the kickoff to this.
Yeah.
In my
I think
opinion.
so.
I think we're going to see more of this shit go on.
So the FBI released the identity of the 4 people arrested here. They were in the Mojave Desert making materials to assemble this. Audrey Eileen Carroll, 30, alleged ringleader who created the detailed bombing plan. Zachary Aaron Page, 32, Dante Geffen, and Tina Lee. Charges include conspiracy, possession, unregistered destructive devices. More charges coming. The group is tied to the Turtle Liberation Front. I mean, dude, they're... these charges, man, you get life in prison. I mean, wow. I'm sure they're probably going to speak a little bit. The birdies are going to talk a little bit. You want to find the backers. You want to find who paid for this. That's the key. You want to find the men that organized this in some way. Who paid for this to happen? Who gave you the materials? Who armed you to do this? Who taught you how to do this? We want that information. That is key of breaking down this.
That's exactly what's going to happen because they will fold like a cheap suit, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt, especially when you got, 2 women and 2 men? Forget about it.
Yep.
And they're all liberals, so that's, they don't want to go to prison.
No.
They're not going to want to go to prison.
No, they're going to go to prison. I mean, they're going to do time.
Yeah, of course.
They're not going to get a walk. I mean, come on.
No.
They were planning a terrorist attack that's no dissimilar to what I just told you about the Jack Ryan series that was like someone paid for this. And in that series, it was Myanmar's triad trade working with the cartels, and that they had taken out other cartels and working this infrastructure of a cartel to make sure that they were easily to get in there and using the help of other people inside the government, the United States government, to let's just say make this happen. Would USA donating 770 gold pills? It's all dirt slop. Need more gold pill love and support. The boys stream. Thank you so much. It is all dirt slop. Darla, gift to the candidates. Definitely biblical. Christians are on the attack. Then remove the church bells and blast Islam call for prayers. Yes. I mean, I think it's hard pressed to right now. I don't want to jump the gun, but I'm leaning towards it right now that they might not find this person because of the fact is this person was hired to take out her in some way. And then in the process of doing it, this person probably used the cover fire to hit and injure other people, maybe take out the Uzbekistan student that may or may not have been a witness. I mean, I don't know what that is. We're
Who
not
does
seeing
that,
anything.
Brett? Who does that where they kill a bunch of innocent people to go after one person?
Well,
Who does
exactly.
that? Think
Yeah.
about who does that.
Yep. So Trump responds to the Australia attack. All right. Talks about the Australia attack. I'm not going to play this. We celebrate Hanukkah loudly for after Australia attack. His remarks fire the Bondi Beach massacre. Speaking during the holiday event, highlighted that. He went on and said, here's Ivanka Trump. As Jews around the world gather around our menorahs on this first night of Hanukkah, we are reminded how desperately the world needs more light and more Kiddush Hashem. I don't even know what the hell that is. The heartbreaking tragedy on Bondi Beach, Australia, at Brown University, weigh heavily on all of us. The hero in that who pulled the gun away from the actual shooter was Christian, by the way. Was Christian.
He's a Lebanese Christian guy.
Lebanese Christian, yes. Most people aren't talking about that.
And
again, what happens? The freaking premier president of Australia comes out and says, "White ring, what? What did he say? Right wing, what? He attacked right wing banality. He attacked, I thought he almost said Christians, but he said right wingers or people that have that mantra of this. It didn't even mention Muslim, didn't even mention anything else. It was a disgrace.
And he was giddy as fuck about banning more guns.
Yeah.
He put that in there too. He couldn't wait to say that. Oh, we got to do more about the guns.
No, and you know what? Look, I look at this way, and I don't feel bad about what happened. It's sad that these people lost their lives, but this was a staged attack. This was a staged attack. It was set up, and the plan was to what? Enforce more gun control. I think so. All right. How did you have strict gun control, but yet these two were all to have weapons, multiple weapons, improvised devices? This was planned and organized. And one of the guys was under the radar. You'll find out here. So the Daily Mail puts this out. 16 people are dead, including one child. Goes through. One of the gunmen were also shot dead. Second in the hospital. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese gave a speech to the public National Security Committee. There's no place for hate, violence, blah, blah, blah. Let me be clear, to eradicate it. Australians of Jewish faith, we embrace our fellow. Then he goes on where it says how the attack unfolded, video footage making their way, pedestrian footage, footbridge, and opening fire towards grassy area known as Archer Park. There is a period of time, a window where the police took a very long time, almost a 20-minute period, to return suppressive fire to bring down this attack in some way. I find it very striking. What were they ordered to do? Were they ordered to stand down and let this go on for a period of time? We don't know. Beachgoers run for their lives. Here's 647. Extraordinary moment where he wrestles the gunman away. Did they? Yep, they took that down. Son of a bitch. Anyway, they took it down. Oh, no, they didn't. You'll see it here.
Oh!
And he doesn't shoot him. He pulls the gun away from him. And he lets the guy go. And he gets up and he goes to pick up another rifle. Look. Shoot him. What are you doing?
We're just learning some details about him because he has been shot. Now, we are confident in saying that that is him. One of his relatives has just spoken to one of our reporters.
So he was shot, apparently. I don't understand something. So you take the rifle away. He's already killed multiple people, and you don't put him down. Odd, right? Don't you think? I mean, any one of us, even carrying a gun, wouldn't think twice about it.
I would have blown him away.
I mean, honestly.
But I mean, who knows what was going through his mind at that moment? I mean, maybe he thought he could just keep the guy. I don't know. I mean,
well, you're going to let the guy go and what? Pick up more guns to shoot more people and come back and then shoot him? It's either you or me, and it's going to be you.
This whole thing is totally, This was all contrived. There's no doubt in my mind.
That's why I don't believe anything. Now, I'm not implying that the people that are shot and killed that are dead,
Yeah,
based
they
on the
are
tally
dead.
reported,
I mean,
they're dead. They're dead. Yeah, I'm not going to argue that. What I'm saying is the narrative behind it and how this basically came into a fluid situation like this that was allowed to happen and take place. That one of the guys was under the radar. Even the Australian government knew that, and they did nothing about it. They allowed this to happen. Melissa Redpell puts on, I'm seriously supposed to believe that 2 survivors of the Brown shooting also survived the mass shootings at Parkland. Yeah, that was the other thing that was heavily discussed and stuff. That there were people there, Zoa Weissman, a Parkland survivor, and now Mia Tretta, hardcore gun control and anti-Second Amendment activist, been met with disgrace from former President Biden. Just happened to be there tonight. Both already making rounds on CNN. Yeah. Another scenario regarding Brown University and the gun and the gun right push, or the gun grabbing situation that's taking place and stuff. I find it very interesting. And where they end up? How long ago was that shooting? That was like what, 2018? So how long you been at the school? It's 2025. 7 years? I mean,
that was in Florida.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
I know
was
where
with
it is.
the
Coral
kid, the
Springs.
skinny kid
Yeah.
that's been the
I
guy
went to
that's
Coral Springs High. I mean, that
Yeah, it
my
was right
senior year
there,
when I
yeah.
moved
Plantation, wasn't
here.
it?
Yeah, no, it's not in Plantation. It's not. It's in Coral Springs.
Coral Springs, yeah.
Yes, because when my senior year, when I moved here from up north, when I moved there, they opened that school because we had like 3,500 seniors that year. So they had to bridge the gap in Coral Springs to make another school. And since I was out of that district, I didn't go to Parkland. I ended up staying at Coral Springs High. And that was a whole big thing about that. A lot of people were not happy about that school opening up. There was a lot of controversy about that. And that was back in the 90s, early 90s, like 90. You know, that happened in 90. But yeah, I'm aging.
And that's where the
myself.
skinny kid that's against guns came out, which was his name. The kid, that kid.
Yeah.
That skinny kid. I forget his name.
Yeah, I don't know. Who cares? He lived in Parkland too.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
the FBI.
oh,
I don't know.
His
The whole
dad was
story.
CIA or some shit.
Yeah, I think he was a Fed. I think he was a Fed, retired Fed. I don't know. So MJ Truth puts it stinks. FF, crisis actors activated, sit rep, Bonnie Beach, Hanukkah attack. Yeah, an October 7th survivor just happens to be one of the survivors in the attack in Australia. It was kind enough to take a selfie as he laid there in terror. This is what we had to say. We came here only 2 weeks to work with the Jewish community to fight anti-Semitism. I never thought I would see this in Australia. Yeah, here we go. So he says, I watched all the available videos, and the police were absurdly incompetent. I mean, was this allowed to happen? Did really people die in some way? It seems kind of odd in some way. This guy survives the October 7th attack, and he happened to be here, Australia, to enact tougher gun laws after terror attack on Hanukkah celebration. One who set that up. I wonder why that is. Let me jump to this. I think you sent me this. This comes from
always this shit about fighting anti-Semitism. What
Well,
the
yeah.
fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, why don't you fight? I don't know, white debt, people getting murdered by murdering white people
Yeah.
or white Christians. How come it's always the fight to stop anti-Semitism? What the hell is that?
Mossad sent warnings to Australia about anti-Semitic terror attacks. Mossad has been warning Australia regularly for months about Iranian and other potential plots. There you go. It's Iran again. The J Post has learned following the attack murdered 11, but it's 16 now. Already in August, Mossad gave helpful warnings to Australia regarding the terror attack from this anti-Semitism at a record high, and we're keeping our eyes on it. Okay, enough of that. So Iran did it. It's Iran is involved.
There you
Marshall.
go. They just,
I mean, it's just like it never ends. It's always Iran getting your guns. It's always like these things. It's like they never change. The narrative is always there. That's why you can't believe anything anymore. I mean, that's why I have a hard time of just being like, all right, whatever. And you get, it's not that you get in some way you become anesthetized to the whole thing. Oh, people are dead. This has happened. It's whether you believe it or not, if it's real or not. Oh my God, false flag crisis actor busted. Look at that.
All produced.
Was this fake? You never know. Yep. Right. I mean, honestly, that's why I don't really give a shit, but I'm covering it in some way. I mean, can you argue these people made this up and didn't really happen? And this was a stage movie?
Well,
and wasn't real?
And the fact that the first thing they do is jump on, it was Iran. So who's going to tell us, oh, the next thing is United States need to go over there and send our people. Let's go over there and start fighting Iran again.
Yeah,
This
same
is what they're
playbook, different
trying to
day.
do,
Yep.
man.
Yep. David Hogg. Thank you, Trusty Turnip. I can't forget the guy.
Yeah,
that
that
guy's
little
such a
skinny
fucking
fucker.
weasel. I can't stand that guy. Yeah, I mean, how old is he? I mean, I remember the whole thing when in Parkland, he looked like he was 30 in Parkland. They said that guy looked there were people who didn't even know who the guy was. He just happened to transfer in there and happened to be there, and then the shooting happened. But it's the same type of scenario. Jen Psaki was a crisis actor before she became who she was. Look her up. Look her background up. You can't say that. Yes, you can. It's real. There are people, there are companies. I used to cover this all the time. I covered this on my show, on Thomas's show, on True Reporting, that there are actually corporations and companies that hire people, crisis actors, pay protesters, stage people to do all these different things, to be a part of this in some way. It is real. Go look it up. Go to Yandex and look it up. It's real. Okay, so don't tell me it's not, because I already know. I've already seen this. The Oversight Committee just released a report proving that Democrats are falsifying crime data and threatening anyone who blows the whistle. Conspiracy theorists have fully been vindicated again. And to the report, the D.C. Metro Police Chief Pamela Smith, who we told you last week resigned because of this. All right. She pressured commanders to report lower crime stats by means any necessary. Yeah, I wonder why she did that. And it wasn't because of race
Good morning
only.
to you. Those House Oversight Committee Republicans say the bottom line of what their investigation found is that the outgoing D.C. police chief was essentially cooking the books on crime data and trying to make the city seem a whole lot safer than it really was. Now, those House Republicans say what their investigation consisted of was interviewing all 7 commanders of D.C. Metro Police's patrol districts, including a former commander who's currently suspended for allegedly tampering with crime stats in his own district. And these are some of the conclusions they've made in their report. They allege that D.C. Metro Police Chief Pamela Smith pressured commanders to report lower crime stats by any means necessary. The commanders testified that Chief Smith even pushed them to pursue lesser charges that aren't publicly reported, even for serious crimes, and she required certain crimes to be reviewed by her office.
That's enough. Okay. So now we understand why she stepped down. She should be criminally charged for this too. You should be. Because this is the reason why President Trump put in the National Guard. And it's all over. Yes, central casting. But the reason why that President Trump put, because every major blue city state fiefdom is doing, they're losing the narrative on this stuff. So what do? They rig the numbers saying, yeah, there's no crime. You're not seeing anything. It's a fucking illusion. It's not really happening. Meanwhile, there are murders and rapes all over the place. It's an illusion. Don't worry about it. That's why they lose the narrative on the elections. They have to rig the elections. This is what they do on a daily basis. It never stops with them. They find ways to what? To jerry rig everything. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
And then they add on.
They should prosecute her for what she has done.
To add insult to injury, Brett, they add on, instead of it being like a Mexican or Latino, it's white guy.
Oh, it's all white
It's
people.
always a white guy. They put white guy in there, and they're like, yeah, look at the crime stats. Yeah, look right here. That's a ticket right there.
Yeah, here it is. Report also cites toxic workplace, culture under her leadership. She's a DEI hire. She says, a resignation is not part of the investigations. Yeah. Okay. All right. You're in deep trouble, lady. I mean, whatever. I at this point, I mean, you should go after her. I mean, who's the DC chief over there? Who is it? Is it the judge from Fox, Jeannie Pirro? Go after her. Charge her. I mean, for what she has done. I mean, the lie itself, the narrative that is set up, it's ridiculous. All right, moving on. There's just so much more. Let me skip through this. Okay, because we're running out of time. Okay, I'll get to the stuff that everybody wants to talk about. I got a couple of articles from this, and then we'll say our piece about this, because the bottom line is this is what everybody wants to talk about. It's unfortunate, but it is, because it's just another distraction. Erica Kirk addresses assassination claims privately with Candace Owens. Apparently, she flew out there today to Tennessee from Arizona. Charlie's widow and conservative group new leader said she would instead meet with Owens privately on Monday. Why am I? Okay, I got to put this through. They want my information. Wonderful. Okay. What they're saying, Candace Owens and I are meeting for a private in-person discussion on Monday, December 15th. Real Candace Owens have agreed to the public discussions, live streams, and tweets. Okay, it's going to go on. I'm very much looking forward to this discussion. Owens posted a catch up quick. Owens began spreading theories about Kirk's death. Owens is basically baselessly suggested that TPUSA insiders, American supporters of Israel, and the French military were part of the plot to assassinate Kirk. So Axios is already running the hit piece on Owens in recent weeks. First of all, there's no evidence to suggest what she had said is inaccurate. It's not been debunked. In fact, Turning Point is forcing Erica Kirk to go there to stop the nonsense, to stop this in some way, because it's about the brand. It's about the organization. It's not about Erica Kirk, and we'll get to that. In recent weeks, Owens has questioned the motives of Erica Kirk, who took over CEO of influential conservative student ground a group funded by her late husband. Look, the argument is here. All right. It's no more. It's not about being a widow anymore. You're the CEO of this company, major company, with a lot of connections, a lot of ties, a lot of people that sit on this board, a lot of donations coming in, connections to Israel in a lot of ways and stuff. This is hurting their what? Their fees, their memberships, and whatever they're planning on doing. I mean, there's an argument to be made that Erica Kirk could be a useful idiot, a tool, expiry. I mean, But there are arguments to be made. What is her modus operandi here? Is to get her to what? For Owens to stop discussions about this? Because everything that she has said right now, she's talking about the intrigue. Erica Kirk herself has began rebuking Owens in recent days. I'm not going to read this anymore. I think we all get the understanding about this. What is she going to do there? Is there going to be an adjustment, an admission, a cop-out, a surrender by Candace Owens, an acknowledgement for? I mean, what is it? What is to get her to back off? How is she going to get her to back off? I mean, is Erica just being a bulwark here, a shield for the brand, to protect the brand in some way? So how is this going to help Candace Owens' mission to uncover the truth? So are they trying to co-opt her? Are they deadening the argument? Are they assimilating the noise? I mean, look, there are a lot of misgivings, doubt, and uncertainty that Owens has put out there about TPUSA. It's hurting their brand. Or they've dropped off. What are they trying to get from her? Is she being forced to do this, meaning Erica Kirk to go there? What do you expect that shall come out of this that is not really going to come out of this? Do you really think Candace is going to table the narrative with a wink and a smile, or will she be issued a stern warning under duress? Keep that in mind.
I tell you, I think that either Erica Kirk is either part of this whole thing, meaning on the good side, that she's playing a part, or she's with the Con Inc., which is the TPUSA.
She could be a dupe in this too.
She could be a dupe too. There's three. Now you did add a third one.
Yeah.
She's one of those. I don't know which one. I do know that next week, I believe it's next week, AmFest, which is produced by TPUSA, is going to do a anti-Semitism, whatever you could, fucking event. They're going to do a deal, anti-Semitism. You got to fight that.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, Brett, it all tells me they're trying to. It's almost they're blowing it up in your face, saying, "Look where." We're telling you what this is all about.
Well, they're trying to rebrand themselves as well.
Well, that TPUSA itself, yes.
Yes.
But there's no way they can
So
do
again,
it.
when you separate Erica Kirk, she's just the CEO, the temporary CEO at the time. I mean, you got to consider that. I mean, her time for retirement and expiry will happen. All right. And they will find somebody else to replace her, but they're milking it right now. All right. So Erica Kirk, Candace Owens to meet in person. Candace has agreed that public discussions, live streams, and tweets are on hold until after the meeting. I look forward to this. So we don't know what's going to happen with this. We don't know what she's going to put out. I'm very much looking forward to this. I'm kind of intrigued to hear what happens. Owens began the show claiming that she's been waiting, that she wasn't sure about Erica, but she had Erica's TV appearance completely missed the mark. What are they looking to come out of this? Table the conversation, temper your expectations. I mean, are they trying to convince her? Or are they trying to bribe her in some way? What do you think the expectations are for this? I mean, I just don't see Owens walking away from this. She'll probably be like, yeah, and all the pleasantries, have a great discussion. And then she'll continue it on. Maybe she'll move the narrative in another way. But the representation here separate Erica and TPUSA, or one and the same. Who is she really protecting? She's not protecting Charlie Kirk's name. She's protecting the brand of TPUSA. He's already dead. They got their dupe on trial, their patsy on trial, and we'll wait to see what happens. I don't think anybody's the wiser here about like figuring out how this is going to come out, unless she's threatened directly, and we don't know. You think Owens is the type of person to come out and say, yeah, they threatened me? You think that's going to happen? I don't think that's going to happen. At least we won't know that. Escalating attacks on Erica come as Charlie's widow stepping up more publicly in her role as Turning Point USA executive. And it's not the fact. It's the fact is that the way this was handled, the argument, the discussion, the way she has handled this, going on this book tour, raising money in some way.
Yeah,
it just invalidates all the claims. So it gives, like I said, it gives Candace Owens an opportunity in this vacuous moment where TPUSA is not filled in the blanks about all this stuff. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what this is going to be. I just don't see Candace Owens turning around and saying to her audience, all right, in any level, saying, yeah, we're going to temper this down. She's not going to tuck tail. She's not. I just don't buy that she's going to tuck tail in any way. I just don't know. Another video, TPUSA missed tax filing deadline, alleged that $8.5 million in the company funds were improperly used. Ugh, man, what a shit show. More than 60,000 people attended this service, which was held at State Farm, which hosts Arizona Cardinals NFL team. I think it's I think all this theatrics that are going on in some way will really will shoot through the roof. We'll get a better understanding about how we look at this in some way. But does anybody believe that you'll think in some way, if she does tuck tail and she does temper the expectations or quiet this down in some way, or decide that she's not going to discuss it anymore, then you could surmise that she was threatened. That's the way I look at it. Because there would be no other way you could look at it and say she's going to do her a favor by not talking about it. It's not about Erica Kirk anymore. This is about TPUSA. This is about asking questions that a lot of people have, and considering what's going on in some way with the trial that's going to take place next month, maybe next month, February and stuff. I think in some way, everybody will still have that sneaky suspicion. Nonetheless. But that's my point. I don't know.
Who knows if Erica Kirk has been threatened by TPUSA, which is not TPUSA anymore. It's actually a country over in the Middle East. Mm. It's been co-opted. They're running it now.
Well, maybe she's an actor playing a role, and so she's not really. Well, she's just playing a role. She's going to get a large settlement that might pay her out later on. I mean, look, she's a temporary CEO. She's not going to be there long term. She's there to fill the narrative, to raise as much money as she can off the death of Charlie Kirk, utilize that, and when TPUSA is tired of her and all that stuff, they move off of her. And I would believe that they will probably do that after the conviction of this guy, of this patsy. Yeah, I mean, look, it's either if they don't convict him, let's put it this way: if there's no evidence and this evidence is shown, and he walks, ooh. But you know what they'll do? They'll blame Candace Owens. They'll blame everybody that bitched him on and stuff. No, can't do that. Can't do that. But I have a feeling that her time there as CEO is temporary. All right, is temporary. It's not permanent. There's a fail-safe, a parachute, a golden parachute waiting for her very soon. And I believe that she's there. Do the book tour, do this, and they'll find a replacement. They always will.
I think the whole tour that she's been doing on every show you can think of is way out of just over the top. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just too much, man.
Yeah,
I've almost got Erica Kirk fatigue because she's on every time I turn the TV on.
Yeah, I mean, and anybody that says anything negative in the light, you're a monster.
Yeah, I'm not.
And that's how I know that
it's weird.
That this, yeah, weird. Well, that's how I know that the strange attractors, the meaning in modern mayhem, the gun grievance, global ties, the chaos coordination that we're seeing. It's all contrived. It's all. They have to show and put up some type of, let's just say, a wall around TPUSA until the time, until the trial is done with in some way. And that's what they're doing. They're using her, all right, to run with this patternicity. Look at me, the widow. But, no one's buying it. And they're scared of Candace Owens. I believe they are scared of Candace Owens because she's asking questions. She's asking questions that they don't want answered. She's the only one asking them. You know what? I got to give her that.
They're telling her to shut up.
Yeah, and I think that
her
going over there is not going to be a request to be quiet. It's going to be a demand.
There's a country that tells people to shut up about anti-Semitism.
Yeah. So this was what happened over here in Chile.
Yeah, that's
votes
good,
out
man.
a tyrannical socialist government, and Bulgaria collapses their corrupt socialist government. It's happening everywhere.
Gen Z, baby.
Yes, I agree with that, Thea. They only used Erica because she was the closest to Charlie, and now you can utilize the empathy shaming because, yes, I mean, I've said that many a times. There are many different things I called it. There was a word I wrote it down, that I was calling these types of names and stuff, it was love bombing or dark empathy. All right. Vicarious emotion, dark empathy, and love bombing. Yeah, I believe that these types of verbiage that are being tossed out there is exactly what's taking place. It's to, tug and utilize the widow syndrome in some way when you really have to. The widow thing is over. Okay. It's over. He's dead. It's gone. It's been months. There's a trial. She's the CEO of this company. And she's going on book tours defending TPUSA. It's no more about Charlie Kirk anymore. Those days are over, especially when you forgave the guy who supposedly killed your husband, but you want to go after everybody who was just asking questions about all the evidence and all the theatrics that we've seen. You want to attack us because we're bad people. Okay.
What does that tell you, Brett? That tells you there's
bullshit.
something wrong. That tells you there's
Of course
something
there's
wrong.
something wrong. And I don't give a fuck when anybody says, I'm on my side. I'm on We Are Rise's side. What I see, what I think, I've asked questions. And I pointed out several oddities out there that no one, has mentioned. And I see people, big names on big platforms and stuff. You know these people. They're all fucking attacking me. They're attacking you. They're calling you idiots and stuff. Ask them, why was the footage deleted of the surrender of Tyler Robinson with his father at the sheriff's station walking in after 30 days? It just happened to disappear. And after 30 days, it was just gone. And they said they chalked it up as an accident. You're going to tell me that the detectives didn't seize that right away so the prosecution would get that and then the defense would be able to use that in discovery? You sure the defense wouldn't be asking for that? Why wouldn't they want that?
Yeah.
So Cash Patel would have to walk back what he said. Oh, we caught the guy in 24, 48 hours. No, you didn't. He surrendered. Whatever. I mean, I'm just at this point, I don't believe anything anymore. And I'm at this stage is that when you can't convince me of certain things that are in here and stuff that are odd, and I understand that there's going to be evidence. There probably is video footage, ladies and gentlemen, that they have from maybe the campuses. I don't know. I don't know if they do or don't. But if we're just taking what took place over the weekend, right here in Providence at Brown University with 800 plus cameras, and they only have footage of all this from, I don't know, outside residents near the campus of some guy walking around a mask. And that's what you're releasing.
They're complicit, man. That university.
I mean, I smell cover up. Again, that's the whole point. When you have multiple things that are on here, the concept of a conspiracy of the whole thing with JFK and assassination, if it's more than one person, it's a conspiracy. It's the same thing what the Charlie Kirk thing is. All right. Why is the FBI still investigating that case if it's already closed? Why do you have to go through? And the idea that we saw that Tucker Carlson said, I know that for a fact, because What? His dad was in the CIA. He's read in this in some way that the Egyptian plane was following around. We don't even know anything about that. But Candace pointed that out. Tucker confirmed that, if you believe that. And the question is, why would that be following them around?
You know that plane you're talking about?
Yeah.
That same plane just went to Nashville to meet with Candace Owens.
Oh,
I read it today. I read it today.
Where'd you read it from?
On a number of posts. I wanted to send it to you. I'll just say unverified.
Okay.
But what I've seen so far, that same jet went from Arizona to Nashville or wherever Candace is in town.
I don't think so, Alita. I don't think Charlie appointed her. I think TPUSA named her.
Yep.
As in succession because she inherited it or she got a percentage. I don't know. I don't know how it was all set up in that manner. There's a board of governors. Because you don't inherit the company in that way. All right. She did in some way. She's connected to because she's married. So whatever was left to her in that meeting, and then the money that she got. $5 million there, $40 million here. The point is what I'm saying is that there's a board of governors. They get to pick the CEO of the company. And they chose her. It wasn't given it to her.
Why? Why did they choose her? I wonder.
That's the question.
Interesting.
Breaking. Trump says truckloads of evidence are about to drop proving the 2020 election. I mean, I think this is why there's an uptick in violence too, by the way.
Yeah.
Consider that. That this is all part and parcel of that. That's a direct threat to the crime syndicate that hijacked this nation in 2020, that ran into the dirt for 4 years, pretending to be a legitimate government. The globalist intelligent assets compromise state officials and foreign actors are working through very same digital infrastructure that rigged the elections that are not only in America, but worldwide. Global's panic as well as laws close in. The elites try to bury the 2020 to rewrite history, but Trump never conceded because he knew. In classified hardcore coded material grade evidence that was quietly gathered over the last 5 years. Look, remember the Kraken services seized in Germany in late 2020? Remember the white hat sting ops in battleground states? Those were the dominoes being set up, and for the last one is about to fall. Here's what we know. Dominion's Smartmatic systems were remotely accessed during the 2020 election by foreign actors, primarily China, Germany, elements within NATO intelligence. Ballot totals were algorithmically manipulated, not just in swing states. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Like Georgia, Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, but also in traditionally safe blue states like California and New York to inflate the turnout. Millions and millions of mail-in ballots were injected after midnight. Right now, the DOJ is suing Georgia for the ballots in multiple different counties of the state that we're hearing right now that took place yesterday. But you didn't hear about it because all the bang stuff, all the false flag stuff, no voter ID, no signature verification, no chain of custody. A ballot laundering network operated through nonprofits and shell NGOs using drop boxes funded by Zuckerbucks, shuttling in fraudulent ballots. Wow. Why is he not in jail? Satellite uplinks tied to foreign entities in the CERN EU grid were detected interfering real-time vote transfers. Wow. Something that went completely dark mainstream, but was logged in by Space Force. Interesting. Truckloads, not files, not folders, not USB drivers. He said plainly, truckloads. That means pallets of documents, digital forensics, chain of custody, records, affidavits, video footage, cell phone pings, surveillance, audio. All of it dumped. Insiders now claim the release will be layered, first to be red pill journalists, then to Congress, then to military courts. The first batch is set to target California and Mr. Newsom. He's in the crosshairs. California's election is so rigged we can win California by a lot. Trump didn't think he won California. He knows it. Why? Because the military intelligence showed his campaign live data during the election. The blackout wasn't a glitch. It was the activation of Operation Black Mask, a globalist backdoor program buried deep in the ballot counting software installed under the guise of cybersecurity and launched simultaneously 7 major data centers. Wow. I'm not going to read the rest of it and stuff. This was a great article. Maybe I'll drop it in the chat. I have to tell you right now, I like some of this stuff. I'm going to be covering more and more of 2020 stuff, as I always do, at every level I can. To me, this is the big kahuna. This is the enchilada that everybody should be focused on that. Once this domino falls and the information out, a lot of people are going to go to jail. A lot of people are going to be arrested and rounded up. And then everything's going to pop off. You think things are popping off now. You haven't seen anything yet. Things are going to get really hairy and dicey when the truth comes out about this. Yes, Epstein files drop on Friday. Big whoop-de-doo. I think it's a nothing burger. It's just going to connect more pictures, fake pictures of other people with other people and stuff. I mean, unless there's a causal connection in some way that you have definitive proof in some way that this person, and other names going to drop, maybe Epstein names from list of actors that traveled to the island. I don't know. I really don't know what it is. But to me, this was the biggest thing going. And once this uncovers everything, everything will just implode.
I think this is what's connected to everything else.
Yeah.
This is everything they're doing on the peripheral right now is really connected to this and it maybe something else, but really this whole 2020 deal is what's blowing up.
Yeah.
Like you just said. And I think they are afraid of this. And they're doing everything they can to sidetrack, sidestep, or backtrack, whatever they can to stop what's going to come. Because I think it's going to give Trump 2 more years, Brett.
Darlow, gift of the can. I think Candace and Eric are on the same team. KFAB to divide the MAGA movement. Okay. That's fair. I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm on my team. We arise.
Don't let the influencers tell you.
I don't. Yeah, I don't
pick sides.
I'm not on her side at all.
Don't
I
pick
only
sides.
agree with the idea you should be allowed to ask questions and not be pushed away. And I think that if there are legitimate questions you should be asking, you should not be just pushed away and blackballed in some way. I don't believe in that. If the whole concept of the truth of the movement is to find the truth, why are so many people trying to avoid finding the truth? If you think you got the truth because Tyler Robinson was arrested, which he wasn't, he surrendered and then he was charged. Okay. We don't know about what's going to unfold about that. We don't. It's the same thing we just saw with the shooter at this university. What has come out of it? Nothing. Did they find anybody? No, they can't even find pictures. They can't even find their dick, okay, in the dark with 2 flashlights and a spotlight. All right? This whole thing stinks. And I do believe this girl may have been targeted. Super D dropping 117 gold pills. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas back to you. Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't let anybody come in here and start like, bah, 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 bah. I listen to a lot of points of view, and that's what you should do. And you should surmise your own way of thinking. All right. As I see the Candace thing, you can read it from every different way. All right. Your point is valid because if she comes back, like you're saying, Darlell, and this whole thing's where she tucks tail and she backtracks, then she's co-opted or it was a game. I'm not sure about that per se. I have misgivings and doubt. There's uncertainty across the board. I don't believe everything she has said anyway. But I definitely don't trust TP USA. I don't trust the widow. I don't like anything. I don't like everything that Candace is shooting out. I think there's a collage of bullshit all over the place. But something feels off. Something feels not right. And they're using the vaccine argument. Take the jab or you'll die. Or you kill other people. They're using the same hyperbolic narrative that they did during COVID. All right. If you don't take the jab, you deserve to lose your job. You deserve to be isolated, alone. You deserve to be punished. You deserve to be what? All debanked, deplatformed, all this stuff. All the things they did, all the things they said, you need to be punished. This is exactly the narrative they're pushing, and I'm not buying it. You could swallow that narrative, all right? Because I'm still stuck on what took place during COVID. I'm not off of that either. But that narrative is alive and well, and they're using it in a different way. They're using it through the dark empathy. They're using it through the love bombing, as I call it. They're using it through so many different, let's just say, unintelligent, emotional, empathy, weaponized empathy, vicarious emotion. They're using it to hurt you, to in some way convince you that the narrative, okay, it's all said and done. You need to move on now. We're not moving on. No one's moving on. You haven't moved on from COVID. I haven't moved on from 2020, but I'm being told I have to. And every day Trump comes out there. All right. Look, in the grand scheme of things, is it a distraction at this point? Does it have any meaning and weight? Does it really affect your life in some way? Well, I mean, we're talking about someone else that was murdered that was a conservative. Doesn't that mean something? So we just automatically just shut our mouth and like, let's hold our breath, collect the breath until he's convicted and say they got the guy because a jury of 12 had some evidence that may or may have not been on the up and up. I mean, do you think Lee Harvey Oswald killed Kennedy? Are we back to that again? I mean, again, the lone gunman theory, all these other things. It's just icky. It doesn't feel right. But you can go ahead and presuppose the idea that you're all in on that in some way. I'm waiting for all the evidence to come out. I'm waiting for all the stuff to come out in discovery. I want to hear this shit. I want to see the video footage. Because if you don't have any video footage, that whole thing is bullshit.
Be careful of people online that are trying to tell you to pick sides.
Yep.
Do not
just say maybe and fuck right off.
Look, I unfollow those kind of people.
Yeah.
Because they are trying to create division amongst the people that support Trump. Don't fall for it.
No.
I don't pick a side. I want it to play out before I decide whether Erica. I'm leaning Candace. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm leaning that way, but I haven't made the mind up. I haven't made my mind up.
We'll find out what's going to happen with her with this.
Let it
play out. Let's see what happens with this. Yeah, I mean, look, this whole thing is kayfabe. I mean, no one believes it.
It really is.
You know, I mean, I'm one of the few people who believe that they faked his death, because there are many big names out there who don't believe that.
We've said it many times.
And I've said it all the time. I'm not backing away from that. That's my personal feeling. I do believe that. Can I prove that? No, there's no fucking way I could prove that. But it doesn't mean that's what I feel. All right. But I'm not here trying to present evidence one way or another. People are like, oh, that's crazy. Well, half the shit people are saying is crazy. So why don't I just throw that out there too? That's my personal feeling. All right. You're going to tell me they don't put people in witness protection, faking people's death? That doesn't happen? Maybe. So does Spielberg new film star real aliens? Probably not, but conspiracy theorists believe the director has been granted unprecedented access. Listen to this. Oh, shit. Did they fucking... Yep, they did. They pulled it. Son of a bitch, I had it. Let me go to the other one. Yeah, that's why I got two. I had it. This was a great... Oh, you son of... All right, World of Real. This will be better. It's the same similar argument, but it goes into more depth. This was good. And I thought this was interesting because next year, there's a new movie coming out. World of Real. Spielberg poster teases mysterious new UFO movie. All will be disclosed. Spielberg movie entitled The First Trailer attached to Avatar Fire Ash showings. However, the first billboards in LA and New York City started to appear, and you can see the snapshot below. Filmmaker might be going for a darker tone than, say, E.T. or even Close Encounters. The caption, all will be disclosed 6/12/2026, appears on a teaser, and it raises questions of whether long-rumored title disclosure is indeed what the film will be called. Footage of Spielberg's film was recently unveiled during a special event at Universal Pictures when they dedicated a new Spielberg theater. According to reports, the preview showed action sequences, including a chase scene, mysterious men in black style cars, and a dramatic car train crash escaping involving Emily Blunt's character. There's a real mystery surrounding the new Spielberg, and David Kopp recently hinted that it would return to an old school roots of Spielberg early UFO works. The cast includes Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colin Firth, Eth Hewison, Coleman Domingo, and Wyatt Russell. Naturally, Spielberg regular Janusz Kaminski. The UFO film is set to release June 12, 2026. The discussion here is that they're going to make E.T. too. And they're going to feature real aliens in it. Now, how are they going to feature real aliens in it? Well, they're going to feature real aliens that were filmed in supposedly real life in many different ways that they have access to that's going to be out there. But it's going to be basis on ET2. That's what they're doing. That's what they're putting out there. Look, it even looks like ET. So that's the discussion about this, that they're going to make an ET2, whether it's going to be disclosure or not. They're going to use real footage that are going to be in this movie in some way. Well, whether this is going to be some type of truther movement or like it's going to be disclosure, what this is and how they're going to peer this in and stuff or parse this in there is going to be odd in some way. But this was the big thing that was out there. The other argument was in the first one article that I had is that was based on ET and his conversations with Ronald Reagan, filming it at the watching it at the White House, knowing it's real. Oh, how many people don't know that it's not real and stuff. But there's a discussion. I've also talked about how the movie that's out right now, The Age of Disclosure, that's out, and the documentary that's on, I watched it on Prime. Great documentary. We're leading to the point where President Trump will be the first president to reveal the existence of our reality in some way. Well, I mean, there's a lot of realities I want to be told. Okay, that's not just one of them. Okay, that's on the list of things. There are other realities that I want to see and hear about, but that's not number one, Marshall.
They're not. We talked about this the other night. They're not aliens from up there.
Mm-hmm.
In some universe, something.
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that per se.
This is just my opinion, and we talked about it. There might be aliens from another area, north or south of us.
No, there might be dimensional beings and stuff. I believe that. That's more appropriate to say, but we don't necessarily know locations or anything. Just because Tucker Carlson says it, I don't always believe and check with him when information. I think there is a level of multidimensional in a lot of ways, whether other people from other places or from here that are already here or what have you.
Time travel deal.
Yeah. I mean, there's a whole. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I do read and watch Richard Dolan, and I'm quite fascinated about some of the stuff that he's put out. Excellent stuff. But again, it's not on my top of my list. I mean, are we in the age of disclosure? And that means everything? Yes. Are we going to get everything? No, I don't believe that at all. I mean, we didn't get anything regarding the things that were the most impactful that we wanted.
AFK and all that.
Yeah. I mean, so I temper my expectation about what I think is not. But the reality that we live in and what we're fighting against, all right, to me, the stolen election, that's number one.
Yeah.
I mean, when you find out the elections across the board have been stolen, not just from that one, many other ones in the past, that they're all selected, your congressmen, your senators it's all a scam. The whole thing is a scam. Everything that we find out, I think there's so much stuff that I'd like to see that's on the top of my list to be disclosed as truth bombs per se and stuff. How about live hangings? How about live executions? How about people that have committed treason and sedition? How about all these different things? How many people, that pretended to be that are actors that were never really presidents? I mean, there are so many different things that we can go into and say, hey, look, this is on the top of my list of things that I'd like to see disclosed. Aliens are not like, they might be in the top 10, but it's not like, it's not important to me. I'm not wake up every day. It's like, oh, can I get the alien disclosure? No. There's so many other things that we want disclosed. We want the truth of our reality. Federal Reserve. I want the truth about why these institutions were put in place. I know we have to research it. They're not going to tell us in some way, but I'd like to get explanations about a lot of things that I think we deserve. I don't know if we're going to need. We might need. I don't know.
The alien exposures is right up there on my list with the Epstein files. I mean, I think they're right up there. Come on. I'm not that. Yeah, like you said, Brett.
Yeah.
Look, I want the 2020 deal.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, and all this stuff with these shootings that are going on. That's a big part of it.
Yeah.
So those are the things that really, and of course the economy naturally.
Yeah.
That affects all of us.
How about the gold in Fort Knox? I mean, whatever happened to that?
That's a big one there. I'll take that over the alien deal.
Yeah, I mean, like, wouldn't you like to know? One Thunder, I have no idea. I don't control the gold pills. I just release them. What's going on with gold pills tonight? Just at random, coming on every show. Don't even know how to get one, and now it's crazy. You would have to reach out to them here at pill.net. I have no idea how it operates. You go to pills and hit the scratch off. That's what I did. And they came out. I don't know why this is what it is. I mean, this is what came out. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I know I've had some issues in the past with it, but I've been releasing them. They all come out. Everybody says they just keep coming at a slow pace. There you go. Thanks,
There's
Wood
a beef
USA.
burrito coming next.
Yeah.
Just kidding, guys.
All right, that's our show for tonight and stuff. We will return on Wednesday. Hope your holiday and your Christmas shopping is almost done. I still got a lot of stuff to do. I hate doing this. I really do. I dread it. I really do dread it. It's a pain in the ass. It really is. All right, stop with that. All right. We'll see you on Wednesday. Thanks again for supporting the platform, for being here. Have a great night. And think about all this other stuff that we're talking about. It's only going to continue because the closer we get to the 2020 truth about the election being stolen, the more and more this will uptick, and then we might meet your breaking point. I think that's coming. Good night. God bless. Be well and be safe, everybody. Ciao.
All right.